Hi friends, it's Taylor. Welcome back to the channel where I share my financial self-care journey as well as the tools I'm using to become financially independent. If that's something you're interested in, be sure to join our community by subscribing and hitting the bell. Before we get started, I wanted to say that I'm probably going to have a bit of background noise in this video because my cat is extra whiny today and really doesn't want me to record, but I am trying to get this video out, so we're just going to kind of roll with the punches. So as you can see on the screen, we are going to do my financial review for Q1 of this year, and all of this data is as of March 31st, which is the end of Q1 obviously, and we are going to talk about my income, retirement, savings, debt, and net worth. I want to briefly talk about my goals that I had for Q1. I really only had two, and that was to set up my 2% employer match for my 401k, which I did do. And for March, I wanted to save $300 for taxes, and that included the amount that I would have to pay to file my taxes. And thankfully, I did not owe any money this year, and instead I got a refund. So I only had to pay for filing my taxes. I'm very grateful that I had the money that I needed in order to do my taxes correctly. So the first thing we're going to talk about is my income compared to Q4 from 2023 to Q1 of this year. So at the end of Q4 last year, I made a total of $10,283.84, and at the end of this first quarter of the year, I made $11,058.56. And as you can see, my business income jumped up from $51.61 to $335.14. So I'm definitely excited for the growth there, and I'm going to continue to be as consistent as I can with my business. And then I also had a tax refund, which I mentioned before, and that was $591 that I got in March. Next, we have my 401k. So for 2023 as a whole, I only contributed to my 401k for I think like 4 months before I stopped. And so it's just been at this stagnant number with the exception of the market going up or down for a while. But I told myself that in Q1, I wanted to resume my contributions again, especially since my employer would be matching that. And that's exactly what I did. So now my balance at the end of Q1 is $955.33. So almost a $300 increase. And that is broken down into my contribution, which was $208.35, and my employer's contribution, which was $166.68. I do want to clarify that my contribution and my employer contribution is supposed to match up, but the reason it didn't is because they missed a contribution in February. They apparently didn't do the right paperwork in time, so that's why their contribution is about $40 less than what mine was. But everything is on track now, so I'm good to go. Now we have my savings. So in Q4, I contributed $1,477.97, which was about 14% of my total income. And in Q1, I contributed $1,412.50, which was just under 13%. So not much of a difference there in terms of my contributions, but we can see that my overall balance, of course, did go up to $5,091.71. And that increase in my savings balance includes my contributions, which is the $1,412 that we see on screen. But I also have interest that I earned on the account because I have high yield savings accounts. I am so sorry about Coda. I am trying to film through this as best as I can. And now we have my debts. The formatting for this page is a little bit awkward because I couldn't figure out the best way to fit all of the information on screen, so sorry about that. But looking at the chart, we can see the distribution of how I paid my debts between my standard debts, my loans, and my extra debt payments, with the extra debt payments being in yellow. So we can see that I made a very big extra debt payment in November of 2023, And then in February and March, I wanted to be more consistent with making extra debt payments. So I did a couple hundred there as well. And with that being said, in Q4, I put a total of $1,729.71, which was just under 17% of my total income. And in Q1, I put a total of $2,109.12, which was 19% of my income. So I brought my debt balance down by $1,800, and my ending balance as of Q1 for my debts is $29,507.23. And we can see that the majority of the debt that I paid in Q1 went towards my minimum debt payments because I have that rent balance that I have to pay off. And now for the final review of my net worth, we can see that my cash overall went up $1,319.79, and that is because I saved aggressively. I also want to clarify that my cash does include the balance that's in my checking account, which is why this number is a little bit higher than the amount that was on the savings slide. For my investments, that went up $237.12, and that is because I started contributing to my 401k again, as well as getting that employer match. For my loans, that only went up $404.12, and that's because I really didn't focus on my loans this quarter. I was more so focused on the minimum amounts that I need to pay for my high priority debts. And then for the debts, that balance went technically down by $1,395, and that's because I started prioritizing making extra debt payments and really paying off debt as aggressively as I could. And with all of those numbers, my total net worth went up by $3,366.03 over the course of 3 months, which is amazing progress. So now my net worth is at negative $23,304.29. So that is just over $1,000 a month that I am increasing my net worth by. Obviously, I would love to continue to increase my net worth by $1,000 each month, which means that I'll be able to be debt-free in a couple of years like I had planned. So I'm definitely looking forward to the rest of the year to see how my net worth increases then. As for my other goals, I like to share my goals after I've completed them. And I've already talked about this before, so nothing is really changing here and everything will be a surprise. So be sure to stay tuned to the channel if you want to see the progress that I'm making. But that's it for today's video. I am glad that I started doing these quarterly reviews because now I'm seeing the bigger picture progress that I'm making over a couple of months instead of just looking at 1 month at a time where I may not be able to actually see that progress. And I'd love to know what goals you achieved in the comments below. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and I will see you in the next one.